So eventually, Gary, Greg, and I put the bones back in the ground, and they're covered up, and they are protected well. And we appreciate that. But the word, I don't know, I keep thinking about, why? They shouldn't have been there. We don't have the answers of why the bones were there. You didn't let Mingos near the villages, but it was there. And it was covered up. There was a heavy cedar plank. We don't know if it's a house plank or what it was. The gallons were there. There was lots of tar, where they had tarring stations and so forth. More questions than answers. But the point is that it was our ground. And it was our people. And now the deal is protected. And I think it will be. Proposals, somebody says, well, what are we going to do? We don't know yet. We're talking about a walkway, won't be able to, that's why I give it. But there's other things proposed. But the thing is, now we know. And we should know to start with. When Gowan had a village there, the Chinookup had a village there for generations. It should have been a historical site to start with, and we went around that for some reason. I don't know. We did. But now it's protected. Now we're going to have a walkway and some other things that are non-invasive, but the fact is it'll be remembered. The people are there, the village was there, they'll be remembered. And I think this is the best thing we can do, is just to remember these people. Not just the Indians, but some of the others. We found evidence of Chinese who worked in the canyons. We found cannery evidence. We found evidence of the house they found was most likely turned in the 1800s, last the 1700s, early 1800s. Things that there's no site on the mouth of the Columbia River, which can have been found, that has it back this far at this trade area. There was beads. I have in my notes of all the beautiful beads that were in this site. And the house site had a lot of knives and things. We even found, there was even Chinese pottery in some of the stuff. This trade area was fantastic. This was a major area, and it's got to be protected. Of course, they had cedar, they had fish, and that's why they were there, and that's what they did. They built these beautiful canoes, they fished the rivers. I always like the line I had is, Lewis and Clark stayed on the Columbia River. The people at Middle Village were smart enough, they didn't. The storms were too great. They took their Winnebagos and went north, where we usually go south. But, and all the villages in Walpole Harbor that they had for the winter were built on the north side of the mountain. So the south winds were broken by the winds, by the mountains. And that's where they went. And it was kind of interesting because we're doing some genealogy on my family. It's just like most of the families, you get back 1800, 1890s, around in there, you're not just sure what happened. You have family stories, you have all these sort of things. So my wife and her sister got into genealogy, so we started going up to the State Museum. And, or the State Library up there and looking for research. Fantastic if you want to know anything. They've got the crawl rolls, everything's up in there. But they have the South Bend journals, so we were looking through these journals. And because my grandfather, great-grandfather, had an oyster sloop on the river, and every 4th of July they raced these things, and we were trying to find all this deal. I didn't find out where it was, but anyway, it was in there. But they mentioned that they wanted Indian races, canoe races, on the Waupaw on the 4th of July. But all the sidewash were on the Columbia fishing. So they were still had the tradition, even at the turn 1900s. They still built their canoes, they still went to the Columbia to fish, they still came back to the Waupaw during the winters. So the ties in this thing. And today, we're working for our recognition. And I hope you back us. It looks good. Anyway, any questions? Yeah.
Is there any recognition that is the malt track still on the property?
No. They back. In fact, the wonderful thing is we've had no opposition. The BIA said, well, they didn't quite approve of it, but they weren't going to oppose it. The court also pretty much said the same thing. So there hasn't been. It's supposed to be marked up in the next 2 weeks, hopefully. It's been a long week. Well, I don't know. I don't. I could give speculation, but I won't. But the thing is that we've had wonderful people back against this sort of thing. And now it seems like it's come back as far as opposition. Yes?
I have a slight suggestion to the Department of Transportation on practical ways to preserve that historical site. Being from Florida, going to Key West is about 95 miles of separate little bridges. At one point, there's a 7-mile bridge. If they can build a 7-mile bridge in Florida, they can damn sure build one over there to protect that site.
Hopefully it's protected now. Hopefully it's protected. I don't know. I'd like to see it get rid of the Scotch brew. No, you've got a problem with it. That is not very deep soil. And so this is why the cement floor of the old milking barn was important, because it protected from the elements, and that's where we found this. But there are holes, post holes, all over that area. I mean, that was a large village. And we tried to tell them that. We did, it's a lot. But it's going to be protected, and I might do.
You can finish that sentence.
That was the sentence. No, it's got, I had one fellow come up and said, you were in that dig, did it change you? And it says, yeah, it was emotional. It's hard not to be emotional about it. But anyway, with our tribe and the deaths we had and everything down, it's got to be with those people who are related to all this and stuff like that.
Where was this dig? You talking about?
What's that?
Where was the dig?
Across the river over the station. Yeah, it's in that area.
And we have a speaker who needs to leave because he has another obligation. So I wanted to wrap it up, but also to mention that Charlie Holmes will be doing some carving demonstrations.
I won't be out there, I don't think I'll be.
Oh, you won't be? Okay.
No,
Okay.
I
Or
think
you
helping the
could
kids,
ask some
but-
questions right after we wrap up.
Yeah. I'll be around.
You'll be around. You'll be around. Okay, great. But I wanted to give you a chance to thank Jim for